Okay, so to get started, I already have some green contacts in just to get into the Mother Nature spirit. I am first taking the NYX Professional Makeup Total Drop Foundation in the shade number 11 Beige, and this is going to be my foundation for today. I'm going to drop a couple of drops all over my face and blend it in with a beauty sponge. And I'm just going to drop a couple of more drops of foundation around my face in the areas that I need a little bit more coverage. Since we are doing such an intense makeup look, we're playing with, a lot of color, a lot of green. I want to make sure that my base is nice and flawless. For concealer, I'll be using the NYX Professional Makeup Concealer Jar in the shade Beige. And I'm just going to take a brush and apply this directly under my dark circles. This is going to help conceal those dark under eyes and also brighten them at the same time. Taking that concealer, I'm going to apply it to the bridge of my nose, a little bit on my chin, and also in the center of my forehead, just to give some brightness to those areas. Next, I'll be taking the NYX Professional Makeup HD Studio Finishing Powder, and I'm going to use this to bake under my eyes and also where we place the concealer on our chin, on the bridge of our nose, and also in the center of our forehead to just set all that concealer in place and making sure everything doesn't crease and it will stay throughout our whole makeup look. Then using the NYX Professional Makeup Stay Matte But Not Flat Powder Foundation, I'm in the shade Soft Beige. I'm just going to use this to set the rest of my face, which is just mainly my cheek area and also the sides of my forehead, just pretty much the places that the baking didn't cover. I'm just going to pat this into my skin. This is going to help mattify our whole face down and also give us a little bit more coverage. For my brows, I'll be taking the NYX Professional Makeup Micro Brow Pencil. I'm using the shade Espresso. And I'm just going to start outlining the shape of my brow. This is just what I always do for my brow routine. So I like to draw one line underneath my brow and then one line above my natural brow. Next, taking the NYX Professional Makeup Primal Colors eyeshadow, I'm using the shade Hot Black. My hair is black now. I really wanted to fill in my eyebrows like pitch black, and I thought it would go really nicely with this look. So I'm just filling in between the brows, focusing most of the eyeshadow around the tail. And what is ever left on my brush, I like to bring it in towards the inner part of my brow. And just look at that difference, guys. Brows are everything. Moving on to eyeshadow, I'm just taking this dirty pastel orangey yellow shade as our transition shade and putting this straight into the crease and using windshield wiping motions to blend everything out. To start off with, I am just putting it in my crease like how I normally would do it with my normal eyeshadow looks. But once we start getting it more blended out, I like to start smoking out the outer corner and start dragging it down, towards like my ear. And just using the same brush, I'm going to start bringing this down on my lower lash line, connecting it with the eyeshadow that we place on top. I'm just kind of creating like more of a cat eye, really making sure the color is blended, using circular motions, but I'm really dragging this down. Then I'll be taking this beautiful bright jade green eyeshadow, and I'm first going to pack this just onto my lid space and then slowly blend it into the transition shade that we just placed down. But you really want to just pack on the color first and get the pigment on and then slowly start blending it up. Taking that same shade, I'm just going to smoke this on my lower lash line, just really dragging it down as well, following the transition shade. Then we'll be using a dark forest green eyeshadow on a smaller blending brush, and I'm just going to focus this on the outer corner of my eye. We want to start creating some depth. Since we've been playing with lighter colors, you want to add in some darkness and just create your eye shape. So I'm focusing this on the outer corner and also on the lower lash line on the outer corner as well, just connecting the two and making sure everything is blended out into the jade green. Going back to the NYX Primal eyeshadow in the shade Hot Black, which was the same eyeshadow that we used to fill in our brows, I'm going to take this on an angled brush and start tight lining my lash line. I'm going to focus most of the eyeshadow just on the outer V where the forest green went. Using the NYX Professional Makeup Matte Liquid Liner, this is in the black shade, I'm just going to line my eyes in the inner corner of my lash line where we didn't take the black eyeshadow and just kind of blend it into the black eyeshadow in the outer V. And if you guys have hooded eyes like me, you want to make sure that you just wait for the liquid liner to dry down first before looking up, because if you just instantly look up, it's going to transfer on all the hard work and all of the blending that we did earlier. Now I'm just taking a black kohl liner and just tight lining my upper and lower lash line to make everything very dark and sultry. We are almost done with the eyes when we start prepping for our lashes. So I'm just going to curl my baby lashes. Then I'll be applying the NYX Professional Makeup Double Stacked Mascara. So this mascara is actually a two-part mascara. This is actually the second part, but I just skipped out on the fiber part, which is step 1, and just directly applied step 2, and I feel like it worked out perfectly fine. So I'm just applying this to my top lashes for now. While I'm waiting for my lash glue to dry, let's focus back onto the base. I'm going to take a very warm bronzer and just chisel out my cheekbones. I went a little bit more heavy-handed with my bronzer this time on purpose. I want to give off like a very bronze look in a way, like a really woody look. I'm just gonna take my makeup sponge just to clean up the bronzer a little bit and just to chisel everything out. I'm not taking any product on my sponge, just using the flat inside just to clean everything up. And usually by the time I'm done with my bronzer, my lash glue is dry now, so here I am just popping them on. Quickly going to contour my nose. I just like to draw 2 lines against the side of my nose, and that's pretty much all I do. I like to make it very harsh in the beginning, and then I'll just blend it out with a beauty sponge, with another brush, with my fingers, just so it's not too harsh, but it's still, you know, there as well. And then I'm just taking a dark brown eyeshadow on a very small detailed brush, and I'm just gonna start drawing on freckles. I don't know why when I think of Mother Nature, I think of freckles, and I love fake freckles. I think they are so cute. Making it more dense towards my nose and just fading it out towards my bronzer. It does look very, very harsh when you first apply it, but just take your beauty sponge, just dab it over, and after that, I think it'll look more natural. To highlight the brow bone and also the inner corners of our eyes, I'm just taking a light glitter shimmer eyeshadow, and I just feel like this completes the whole eye look. And for my lip color, I'll be using the NYX Professional Makeup Lip Lingerie Liquid Lipstick in the shade After Hours. And this is like the perfect warm brown. I feel like this is the perfect Mother Nature lip color, in my opinion. Okay, now time for the koru part of my body. I actually rolled up some tissue paper the night before just so I was prepped for this portion. But first, I'm just going to trace out my roots, my koru on the left side of my body, on my chest, and I'm gonna slowly bring it up towards the side of my face. So if you guys don't live in New Zealand, koru is pretty much a New Zealand plant. Koru was actually the name of my my house during high school. Like my house color was green and my house was called koru. So I thought, you know, Mother Nature, New Zealand nature, why not do koru? So I try to incorporate that into my look today by drawing some koru lines. And because I don't have much space on my, you know, chest area, I just did some roots instead of all of them being korus because it would be a lot trickier to place the latex actually on top of it. So now what I like to do is just take the latex and just go over the lines that I drafted out, taking the rolled tissue paper and sticking it right on top of the latex. Tip that I want to give you guys if you ever want to do this, I don't know if you want to use latex. This is my first time actually using latex, but when you place the latex on, quickly, immediately place the tissue paper right on top because the latex dries very, very quick. If you wait like 30 seconds, the latex is already dry. Like once you apply it, you quickly gotta put it on. If you have your partner or a friend or a family member around you to help you out, it'll be much quicker. At first, I was kind of like, I wasn't sure about it, but I think the texture of the tissue paper really gives off a realistic look of nature. Like nature is not perfect, it's very texturized, you know what I mean? So that is just pretty much what I do for this part. After you got that down, I am just taking a little bit of tissue paper once again, and I'm just going to place it over the rolled up tissue paper, apply some latex right over it, just creating more of a smoother canvas, as you could say. I think it's better for you guys to see what I'm doing than me explaining it. I heard that latex takes about 1 hour to dry. Since I didn't have 1 hour to spare to wait, you can just take, you know, a hairdryer and just speed up the process. Just taking some loose translucent powder, I'm just going to pat that all over the latex. Once the latex dry, it still does feel a little bit tacky, so just applying the powder over it is going to make it not tacky anymore. That way, whatever you apply on top will apply a little bit more easier and smoother. Now I'm just taking some green body paint and I'm just going to paint away, trying my best to cover up all of the toilet paper and the latex. Another tip that I could give to you guys if I could do this look again is to bring down the paint. You can see here where I just stopped it. I didn't really fade it out. And because I didn't fade it out, when I went back in with my brown body paint, I found it very hard to really blend everything out. So I would say just, you know, make sure you fade the paint out. That way later on, it will help to blend everything more nicely. Towards my forehead, I decided to paint it brown instead of green and kind of make it fade from green to brown because the roots on my forehead, I wanted to look like it was the actual root of a tree, and then it was fading to korus, like it was growing on me. So you can see here, I'm just trying to fade the brown and the green together by just mixing the two paints. Before we do any shading, you want to make sure that the paint is fully dry. So again, just to speed up the process, just take your hairdryer, as simple as that. Now I'm going to start shading around the latex korus and roots that we made. And I feel like this part is when it's going to make all of the latex really show and really pop. I'm just using the dark forest green, the same shade that we used on our eyes earlier, just taking it right under all of the rolled toilet paper pretty much. You can see that the toilet paper, you know, some of it was like rolling off. I don't know, I like the look of it because it looks like 3D painting in a way, and it looks really texturized, like how wood would be or how koru would be. After that, I just like to take the brown body paint once again, and I'm gonna start painting the other half of my body brown. And as you can see, I'm trying to like blend the brown and green together, but since I didn't really fade it out properly, it was a little bit hard to blend those two shades together. And over here, I'm just using a dark brown eyeshadow to further blend the green and the brown together. That way it doesn't look too harsh. And this, guys, is my completed Mother Nature inspired makeup look. I hope you guys did learn something new from this video, even though I learned a lot of new things in this video while I was filming it as well. Voting does start next week for the Face Awards New Zealand. If you guys could please vote for me, I'll leave a link down below when the voting is live. I really want to make it to the top 15, give some Asian representation. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this look. I spent so much time filming this. It literally took me 6 to 7 hours to film this whole thing. It would mean so much to me if you guys could show me your support. I would appreciate it seriously so much. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll keep you guys updated when the voting is live. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!